12 investigators continue tracking developments at the problem-plagued Eleanor Slater Hospital system. A much-anticipated state review of the hospital reaffirms many of the problems that have been in the public arena now for months. But
Governor Dan McKee and the head of Health and Human Services say they were in the dark about many issues, laying the blame on current leadership at Slater. Target 12 investigator Tim White is here now with the latest.
The 60-day review of the hospital by Health and Human Services Secretary Wamazetta Jones resulted in a 10-page report and a shakeup of leadership at Slater.
We're still certainly in the process of who we believe and who we don't believe.
Governor Dan McKee and Health and Human Services Secretary Wamazetta Jones says the current leadership at Eleanor Slater kept them in the dark about many issues at the state-run hospital.
I faced resistance and a lack of cooperation and transparency from some of the members of the hospital leadership team.
Last week, Jones placed interim CEO at Slater, Jennifer White, on leave, and the chief medical officer handed in his resignation. As secretary, however, Jones has had oversight of the hospital for 2 years.
Do you feel like you bear any responsibility for the problems that have continued to fester?
My response to you as secretary would be that I do not believe that I shoulder the responsibility.
How so?
Let me help with that. In order to manage, you've got to have the authority to manage. And I don't believe that, I think that there was an assumption that the secretary was, overseeing, but there wasn't direct accountability to her.
In her report, Jones outlined short and long-term recommendations, including an overhaul of the leadership team and shake up what she called an entrenched culture.
And this is because the current leadership has lost the trust and confidence of staff, community, stakeholders, and the General Assembly.
The review also laid out major structural issues at the facilities themselves. New at 6, what the governor and secretary say is the risk to patient safety right now in the hospitals. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, 12 News.
A highly anticipated state review of the problem-plagued Eleanor Slater Hospital system is out, and the findings are not good.
As we reported at 5, the head of Health and Human Services says the system needs a leadership shakeup and a culture change. New at 6, what the report reveals are significant dangers lurking inside the facilities themselves.
Target 12 investigator Tim White has been tracking the developments at Slater for months and is here now with the latest developments.
Many of the findings revealed today did not come as a surprise for those who have been keeping tabs on the situation, but despite dozens of concerns in the 10-page report, state leaders stress patient safety is not at risk. The Eleanor Slater Hospital system includes 3 facilities in Cranston and Zambarano and Burrillville. The state-run hospitals care for some 200 patients with issues ranging from severe psychiatric matters to complex medical issues that require long-term acute care.
And we shouldn't just throw it away because it's gotten rough. We need to just own it.
A 60-day review of the system by Health and Human Services Secretary Wamazetta Jones found 2 facilities, Zambarano and Adolph Meyer, are in poor condition with ligature risks or objects that could be used for a patient to harm themselves extreme at Zambarano. Despite that,
we have no reason to believe that the care of the patients as it relates to that the hospital is unsafe.
The thrust of the report's findings center on what Jones and Governor Dan McKee say is a leadership culture that has bred mistrust among staff. Secretary Jones has had Slater under her purview for 2 years, but she says current leadership often kept her in the dark.
I faced resistance and a lack of cooperation and transparency from some of the members of the hospital leadership team.
We're still certainly in the process of who we believe and who we don't believe.
Last week, Jones placed interim CEO at Slater, Jennifer White, on leave, and the chief medical officer handed in his resignation. McKee says they are exploring the possibility of creating a standalone psychiatric hospital in Cranston and building a new facility on the Zambarano campus in Burrillville. He says he may have a cost estimate for lawmakers this fall. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, 12 News.